Hey, this is Dave coming at you from Michigan. I'm glad to be doing another video with the holiday seasons and all that other good stuff. You know, we haven't really been doing too many things with the house. I mean, we have been working really hard with getting the soffits in, but I just figured, you know, how many videos could I keep interesting if all I'm doing is doing the soffits, because it has been a long, miserable job. It's one of those jobs that was it was done in my mind a lot longer than it was done physically, and it's still not done. I actually had to order more wood. We actually ran out of wood going across the front over here. We're not done yet, so that means that we have to stain and urethane. We had to do about maybe 10 more boards. So my son right now, he's actually in there urethaning. We stained it yesterday. We have a little bit of a room set up that's like a heat room to keep it warm through the night. We keep a little heater going so we can still do the staining and urethane in the colder climate. But hopefully everybody had a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year's, and are sticking to the resolutions. I'm trying to get myself back into shape a little bit. I'd say over the years I got a little loose in the cage and trying to do some cardio workouts, but you know, I guess we're all in that struggle, aren't we? As we get older, the health becomes the #1 thing. But we got all this done, and I would walk around the back, but I'd say I'd have about a 70% chance of slipping right down the hill, so I'm not going to do that. But anyways, one of the things that I'm doing that's a little bit different, I'd like to do kind of a review and a how-to on these brick molding tracks on the windows. They came with the windows. They've been sitting in the house for a couple months, but I wanted to get one in because we needed in order to know where we're going to put the cultured stones, because we've decided we're going to do the siding before we do the cultured stone. So we need to, here's one that's in. Well, let me show you one that's not in. In a previous video, you guys saw me doing the windows, but you just have like the actual window, and that's it, and the tape. You can see the screws and the sides. Now let me show you one that has the brick molding in. It was a little bit of a learning curve on these, trying to figure out how you put them together. There's the brick molding. And I didn't know this because I just thought it would be, I didn't really know what it would do, but I didn't know this, but the brick molding lip actually lips over the window by, like, I'd say about 1/8 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch. And it creates another profile, which looks really good. I know that this might not show up really good in the video just because it's kind of white on white, but you can see maybe that's a good angle of like the brick molding, but with the window and the way it overlaps. And it's good because the instructions say, like, I thought I was gonna have to put the brick molding in and then caulk around the inside, and then once the siding goes on, caulk the siding against it, which we still will caulk that once the siding goes up against it. But I thought I was gonna have to do an inside bead too. And they said the only thing that's required is the bead on the bottom, which you can see I did. I just figured I might as well do that now. We have the caulk and all the stuff. So, okay, well, let me show you the back side of this. Now, this is Marvin Windows. It's fiberglass, so it is more expensive than the vinyl, but one thing you get, once again, with fiberglass is you don't get the expansion and contraction like you would with vinyl, like in the hot sun changing of the temperature. It doesn't fade over time, for what I'm told. It's really fade resistant. And one thing I also like about it is it's not flammable. You know, your house catches on fire, and a lot of times it's not the fire that kills you, it's the smoke, because the smoke fills with all the fumes of all the burning vinyl. And I know that I'm going to have a lot of stuff in the house that is flammable, that's probably poisonous, but why add to it? So instead of having all your windows burning and you got all those chemicals, at least your windows aren't going to burn because they're not flammable. It's fiberglass. That's another thing I liked about it. And it's strong. It's pretty strong. And you can see there's a little bit of a gap on the top here, but that's just because it's got that little plastic, you know, that's got the little apron or sill flashing on the top there. But it looks great. I'm really happy with it. I just thought it was going to look like a block piece of molding. And when you put the tape on, well, I'll go into the components of it in a minute, but when you put the tape on, it creates like this rounded part in here. So I didn't really know how the track was going to go. And, you know, those are the type of things that when you're not in front of it, I'll kind of think about it for a little while. But look what it does. They actually give you, let me see if I can get it white. There we go. The snow. See that little lip right here on this side? That's the lip they put there to go over the curved part. And I have a couple here that is installed, but you get this curvy spot in here, and it just, that's the hole, so it still fits flat because it's about 1/4 inch. So I like the design. So anyways, let me go into it. It comes in a box that has so many bands and visqueen and stuff, so it almost takes just as long to get the thing out of the box as it does to assemble. The first one took my son and I 30 minutes to assemble, and the second one took me 10 minutes just because I know how to do it. But it just comes with, this is the back side of what you're looking, this is the back side. It just comes with this track, and this it looks complicated, but it's real easy. This right here is one piece of plastic. It slides on, you know, this is separated, the two pieces are separate. Slides on, slides on. You just bring the miters. Now this miter's open in the back, but it doesn't matter because the fronts are tight. And when you put that on, it will pull and twist. It's like the track, once it slides on, it'll, because we were concerned about the last one, but when we put it on, it just, everything tightens up, and it's perfect. So anyways, they say to put the perpendicular screws in first. This one and this outer ones go straight in. These ones, this screw goes on a 45 angle that way and that way. So once you put those in, it kind of pulls it in just a little bit. I mean, it doesn't draw it in crazy. You already have them tight, but you can tell it snugs it a little bit. And the sill is a little bit different. It comes with these little black spongy things that you stick in there, and there's a little drip hole on the underside of that. I'm assuming that is simply just to keep bugs and bees from getting in there and making a little wasp nest there. But yeah, that's just there just to let any water that gets inside your track behind your drip molding will drip out of there. So that's a good feature too. So once you have this, and it comes with instructions, and I guess the review I'm giving this is a good review, because even though there is assembly required, I didn't know, you can see how this is over here. It overlaps by a good 1/8 of an inch over your window frame itself. The review is good because I'm actually really impressed with the fact that it goes on so well and it pops in nice. You can tell it's enough tension to where it's not going to come off. But at the same time, if you ever did have to pop this off with a little bit of finagling, you could pop it out without breaking the fiberglass brick molding. So anyways, I'm holding the phone. I'm one-handed, or else I'll actually show you how it goes on. But you can see, well, let me show you the brackets. So the brackets go on, and they just say 3 inches from the corner, 4 inches max. So right there, I just got to the point where instead of measuring the 3 inches, it's actually 2.5 to 4 inches. So I just eyeball 3.5, screw it on there. From each corner. So corner, so we just do the corner, and then these two middle ones here, and technically it comes with one more here that I haven't put on yet in the middle there, and one more at the top. In my opinion, it almost wouldn't even need it, but since it came in the pack and it comes with the, you know, oh, and then it doesn't come with the screws to mount this, which is like, if you're going to pay the amount of money I paid for these windows, I was like, really, you're not going to send me a bag of exterior screws? But it just said use corrosive resistant exterior type screws, so I just used like some gray deck screws for this. I used 1.5 inches because my way of thinking is you don't want to use 1 inch or 3/4. You want to make sure that screw gets into your actual jack stud, because that's just going to hold your plywood, hold everything, your window. It's almost like these things will act as almost like a clip to hold your windows in even better, even besides the window track itself. So you can tell it really tightens the window up. And then you can see on the inside here, I hope you can see it, there's barbs. It's like barbs that face inward. And the barbs are like every 1/8 of an inch, every 3/16 of an inch. So once you get all this in that little tab with the 1/4 inch, you just put that up tight to the window frame, screw it in, and it's really easy. It's really soft plastic. This plastic's not brittle. So right now it's about 32 degrees out here. It screws right in. I mean, I've even hit like a screw head from the nail from the window flange, where this one's already in, and this one just like rides out, and it still doesn't even break this, even though it folds it a little bit. So it's really good quality plastic. Nice, it's soft and rigid at the same time. And then all you do is, you know, here's the track, and this right here is obviously why they tell you to keep it away from the corners, 2.5 to 4, you know, because this would not, it wouldn't go. You have to be in here, and it's just a slot all the way across, all the way around. You just hold it up and you eyeball the top, and then once the top is eyeballed on that track and you got it left and right, you just start pushing on it, and you just take your hand and kind of hit it. You're not hitting it super hard. And then we noticed on this one was just kind of binding, so you just take like a mudding knife or like a 5-in-1 tool, and you can see inside there. You can push the tab down or up, because sometimes it just binds. It's up or down like this slightly, but you get it. It's like, you just push it on there and it pops right on. So this wasn't really intended to be like a window video, but we've got a lot of loose ends. I did call for the Tyvek inspection this morning. It's scheduled for sometime tomorrow. And Tyvek's only, I guess, rated for only 180 days, so I'm a few months past. You can see some fading going on over there. So I think in the one of my previous videos, I said that that's now becoming priority. If I had an endless supply of money and an endless supply of time, I would be right now immediately, I would be hiring a crew to do my siding. I would be hiring an HVAC guy immediately right now to be putting his HVAC in. And then I would be going right into plumbing in coordination with the HVAC guy. I would be building all my interior walls in the basement, or interior walls in the basement, the perimeter of the basement. I'd be building all of that before the HVAC. I'd be focusing on framing, and I'd be focused on putting the staircase in from the basement up to the first floor, and from the first floor up to the second floor. But it's just my son and I, and we're on a kind of a budget. So we're just gonna work on the siding and get the Tyvek, and we have the roof on, so the house is dried in. And I would think that through the warmer spring, summer, we'll be getting the HVAC in and plumbing, and this will be the last winter that the house goes without heat. So anyways, that's pretty much the update of what we've been doing. Believe it or not, I would like to do like a video on my plants and on the nursery business, but you know, it's the winter time, and right now all the plants are, I strawed them in, and everything's going good with that. And any of the people that are subscribed to my channel just for the gardening and stuff, trust me, this spring, this summer, there's a lot in store for, we got a lot of stuff going on. We're upping it a little bit, believe it or not. We're getting some more tree orders, and just we've done a lot of propagating through this fall. And yeah, so I'm going to keep the videos coming. We're getting about 13 minutes. Don't want to get going too far over, so just wanted to give you an update and kind of do a little Marvin review. And they get a thumbs up. They get an A. They did a really good job creating a design to pop some brick molding on there. So anyways, this is Dave signing off.